Chapter 136. Liu Yang's arrival outside the Foothill God City. Liu Yong stepped on the Earth Dragon vein and left Yingdu, but Liu Yang's last roar echoed through Yingdu. Earth Dragon vein, follow me to the Foothill God City. I will kill Gu Hai alive. Roar. Traveling to Fo Shen City and killing Gu Hai alive. In the city, scouts from all sides were in an uproar, and then quickly spread the news of this place in all directions. A few days later, the news reached the Divine Martial King's military camp. Sima Changkong frowned slightly and said, Liu Yong personally went to Fo Shen City. Wu Gu Hai. The Divine Martial King frowned slightly. The Great Ying Dynasty already exists in name only. Liu Yong stepped on the Earth Dragon vein to leave. Outside of Lu Shen City yet. This time, Gu Hai is in trouble. The trick that was used to deal with Ao Shun last time. It definitely doesn't work anymore. Can Gu Hai still talk Liu Yong back? Sima Changkong worried. Prepare the army. Let's go to Fo Shen City, Divine Martial King said in a deep voice. Marshal, when two armies are at war, the Marshal doesn't leave the camp. Shall my subordinate go to Fo Divine City on behalf of the Marshal? Sima Changkong advised. King Shen Wu shook his head. Prepare the troops and follow this Marshal to Fo Shen City. Yes, Sima Changkong answered. A few days later, Fo Divine City. Huang Fu Chaoji's complexion didn't improve. Instead it took a sharp turn for the worse. His black hair had turned white. Mr. Huang Fu, Long Xiaoyu is dead. It's useless to be sad. If she was alive, she would definitely not want you to be like this, Gu Hai advised with a slight sigh. Huang Fu Chaoji gave a faint bitter smile and shook his head. I know. Thanks for comforting Mergu, but, alas, you'd better leave me alone. Gu Hai sighed slightly, knowing that there was no way to change Huang Fu Chaoji's mind. Mr. Gu, I've already explained it down. The remaining 12 cities of the Divine Foothills Imperial Dynasty will definitely honor you as their emperor. Please treat these people well. Huang Fu Chaoji looked towards Gu Hai. Mr. Huang Fu, you don't need to be like this, Gu Hai sighed. Huang Fu Chaoji shook his head. The Divine Foothills Imperial Dynasty was founded because of Xiaoyu. Now that Xiaoyu's divine soul is extinguished, it's impossible for me to have the heart to run it again, so I hope that you will treat it well. After a moment of silence, Gu Hai nodded. All right, Mr. Huang Fu, don't worry. The people of these 12 cities, I will treat them well. Huang Fu Chaoji nodded, revealing a hint of a smile, as if he had resolved a matter of his heart. Mr. Gu, Death Grave Valley. Although you sent people there, but forget it, really, forget it. That's a death Jedi. Can't let more people lose their lives because of me. Huang Fu Chaoji smiled bitterly. Do your best and listen to the fate of heaven. Gu Hai shook his head. Alas, Mr. Huang Fu, if you don't give up, would you explain to me the various precautions for opening an imperial dynasty? Gu Hai requested. Good. Huang Fu Chaoji nodded. Huang Fu Chaoji arranged for the Foothill God City to send a large number of generals in flying boats to the remaining 11 cities. Among the cities, the people heard that the crisis in the Foal God City was resolved. There was also a burst of cheering. The Emperor told us to honor Gu Hai as the new Emperor. No, I only recognize the Divine Foothill Dynasty. I only recognize the Divine Foothill Dynasty as well. Gu Hai saved Foothill God City. I'm grateful to him, but we'll always be Divine Foothill Dynasty subjects. Your Majesty, we don't want the Great Han Dynasty. We will always be the people of the Divine Foothill Dynasty. Among the 11 cities, the people were all orientated towards the Divine Foothills Imperial Dynasty and were unwilling to accept the Great Han Dynasty. Huang Fu Chaoji's former pro-people was able to manifest, and the people loved this emperor immensely. Therefore, although it had been given to Gu Hai by Huang Fu Chaoji, the cities and Pauls were still unwilling to recognize it. Gu Hai was recognized by the people of Fo Shen City. but it was only recognized after a deadly disaster. Otherwise, who would recognize Gu Hai? The people were stubborn, and the city lords of the various places were incomparably disillusioned. Of course, things were irreversible. Gu Hai had already become the lord of the 12 cities. The people's hearts couldn't accept it for a while, and it would take a long process of acceptance. Gu Hai and Huang Fu Chaoji chatted about everything about the operation of the imperial dynasty. These days, Huang Fu Chaoji's situation is getting worse and worse. The whole person has aged a lot. The fire poison has been eroding Huang Fu Chaoji's body, but more importantly, Huang Fu Chaoji has already died of heart. Once the heart dies, the old age will be faster. Gu Hai was anxious for a while, but there was nothing he could do. Gu Hai, what I should explain, I have already explained. And finally, I will tell you one more secret, Huang Fu Chaoji said bitterly. Oh, Earth Dragon veins, apart from being nourished by Qi, you can also devour other Earth Dragon veins to enhance yourself, Huang Fu Chaoji solemnly said. Swallow Earth Dragon veins. Gu Hai was surprised. Huang Fu Chaoji nodded. Yes, well, I've said what needs to be said. I feel that the end is near. Haha. I'll talk to those old fellows. Kwong, the door of the Great Hall opened. Your Majesty. Outside the Great Hall, there were countless officials kneeling. And at this moment, one by one, when they saw Huang Fu Chaoji's withered, aged appearance, they all knelt down and whimpered. Here, I'm no longer your emperor. You are my brothers. Still call me Huang Fu elder brother, like before. Emperor. This one is your emperor. Still don't worship the emperor. Huang Fu Chaoji looked at the crowd of officials. The crowd of officials reddened their eyes and looked at Gu Hai, but no one could shout out. Still not paying homage to the emperor. Cough, cough, cough. Huang Fu Chaoji coughed and shouted angrily. Huang Fu Chaoji, it seemed like he was explaining the aftermath. Forcing a group of officials to worship Gu Hai, not for the sake of Gu Hai's prestige, but for the sake of this group of officials. He hoped that Gu Hai would treat this group of old fellows well in the future. Still not worshipping. Do you want me to beg you guys? Cough, cough, cough. Huang Fu Chaoji roared with a cough. Worship my emperor, my emperor. Woo! Long live my emperor, long live my emperor. The first official cried and bowed down. Long live my emperor, long live my emperor. Woo! Countless officials paid homage to Gu Hai, amidst crying at the same time. Huang Fu Chaoji revealed a trace of a satisfied smile and looked at Gu Hai. Gu Hai looked at Huang Fu Chaoji and said, Ma Huang Fu, don't worry. This group of your old officials, as long as they are not guilty of treason, I will always treat them well, I promise you. Huang Fu Chaoji looked at Gu Hai and smiled. Many thanks. It's me who thanks you more. Gu Hai shook his head. Huang Fu Chaoji shook his head and didn't speak, slowly closing his eyes. It was obvious that what had to be accounted for had been accounted for, and it seemed that there was nothing in this world that he could keep to himself. Ma Huang Fu, I know that you are sad, but Long Xiaoyu's revenge has yet to be avenged. How can you be so negative? Gu Hai advised. Vengeance? Xiaoyu's revenge? Huang Fu Chaoji steeply opened his eyes, and his eyes reddened once again. It's too late. It's too late. I feel that. I've reached my limit. It's too late. Xiaoyu's revenge. Huang Fu Chaoji suddenly became bitter. Just as Huang Fu Chaoji's words fell, rumble. Steeply, a rumbling sound came from the distant sky, and under the rumbling, the earth was trembling in general. Gu Hai, little child, come out. I will cut you to pieces. Boom! A furious roar resounded through the heavens and earth, coming straight to the Grand Hall. Lu Yong. Gu Hai's face sank. Huang Fu Chaoji's eyes, which had gone down in disheveled state, blossomed into a dazzling light for an instant, and his eyes were instantly covered with countless blood filaments. Breathing also increased sharply. Xiaoyu. Ha 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 ha. Heaven's will. God gave me back my last chance. Gave me back my last chance. Huang Fu Chaoji's tone was icy cold and piercing, and a great hatred instantly filled the entire hall. Wow. Huang Fu Chaoj slowly walked out from the pool of ice water, his body staggering. Your Majesty, you can't come out. Once you step out of the icy pool, the fire poison will burn you with all its might. An official exclaimed. Huang Fu Chaoji's eyes went cold and said, Call me what? Emperor. The official was just about to say. Asshole, Huang Fu Chaoj glared. Big brother Huang Fu. The official knelt down and cried. Remember, there is only one of your emperor. Guhai, Huang Fu Chaoj said in a deep voice. Woo. Amidst the cries of the crowd of officials, Huang Fu Chaoj, however, slowly walked towards the entrance of the Grand Hall. Some of the officials wanted to come and help, but Huang Fu Chaoj pushed them away. The walk was hobbling, but each step was firm. With a grimace on his face, he slowly walked out of the hall. Guhai also followed and stepped out, and the two of them looked at the far north of the city together. Ong! A loud roar resounded in the ground. Rumble! However, they saw that in the direction of the northern part of the city, a mountain peak rose up and shot up into the sky, and the peaks were linked together, seemingly forming a dragon-shaped mountain range. At the head was the dragon head-shaped peak. Dressed in imperial robes, Liu Yong stepped on top of the dragon's head and looked towards the direction of the imperial palace of the Foothi god city with a grimace on his face. Instantly, Liu Yong saw the palace where Guhai was. Ancient Sea, Liu Yong said with hatred. King Liu Yong. Huang Fu Chaoj also shouted with hatred. It was only then that Liu Yong noticed Huang Fu Chaoj on the side. Only, at this moment, Huang Fu Chaoj had a head full of white hair, wrinkles, and was thinning out, and had long since lost the might of the past. You are Huang Fu Chaoj, Liu Yong said with a cold face. I thought there was no chance. I thought it was too late, King Liu Yong, but you came on your own. You killed Long Xiaoyu, 4-man soul. A human soul shattered. And a temporary patchwork. King Liu Yong, Long Xiaoyu used to honor you like a father. Every year she sent people to send you treasures she had scavenged from all over the world. You have a cruel heart, Huang Fu Chaoj roared. You all know about this, Liu Yong coldly said. The heavens have eyes, giving me one last chance to take revenge. You have an earth dragon vein. I also have an earth dragon vein. Come out, Huang Fu Chaoj roared. The square in front of Huang Fu Chaoj, some earth and rocks abruptly protruded, followed by suddenly lifting up Huang Fu Chaoj and moving him forwards. In the blink of an eye, another dragon head-like mountain rose up. Ong! But it was Huang Fu Chaoj's earthly dragon vein that abruptly roared, carrying Huang Fu Chaoj and suddenly rushing out of the city. Rumble! Amidst the roaring of the earth, Huang Fu Chaoj's earth dragon vein also brought out a huge peak, connecting it into a huge mountain range. Liu Yong and Huang Fu Chaoj each stood at the head of an earth dragon vein, coldly looking at each other.